Radio Raheem with Eddie Hearn. Just less than 24 hours ago, you claimed to have the most massive save in boxing.
Yeah, this eclipses
and
it.
you somehow got eclipsed in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, getting Padley in, that's a major win for boxing, major win for the card. But Bakole in less time than you had to get Padley ready.
Unbelievable. I mean, the only blessing, obviously, is the weight. You know, if this wasn't the heavyweights, the fight's automatically off. The board would not allow it. But with no check weight and the heavyweights, you can come in on the weigh-in day. And Martin Bakole is on a plane, I believe, from the Congo today. I can't. Yeah, it's just an incredible fight. May even be a better fight than the Dubois fight.
It's definitely a better opportunity for Bakole. However, you know, it's interesting. I was waiting for somebody to blame you for this. Every time something seems to happen in boxing, they point to Eddie Hearn as the reason.
I'm struggling to find a reason here, but I'm sure someone will.
Yes. Well, I mean, I know you've got a better ear to the ground than I do behind the scenes. Have you had any information as to what it is that's illing Dubois illing him?
What's illing him? Is that a thing?
He's ill, and then he's illing.
Yes,
he's been ill.
I know when you're ill, but I didn't know that when you're ill, you're illing.
Let me tell you what, when you get an American and British accent put together, it's ailing on one side and you're ill on the other side.
Dubois has been taken ill. That's what we would say. But illing.
All right.
I don't know the reason for his illing.
Yes.
But clearly it's a reason to keep him out of the fight. So, you know, I think it's a bit chilly out here. It's been catching people out. I'll be honest, like, even last night, I got back to the hotel, felt a little bit of a chill. Luckily, I'm not in the World Heavyweight Championship. But
not something you expect in Saudi.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, I don't know. But the problem is, if you've just won the World Heavyweight Championship from AJ, and you're under the weather, or you've got the flu, or even a really bad cold, do you want to risk it all against Joseph Parker and throw it all away? It's a very tough decision, but sometimes the fighter has to protect himself, you know?
It's a difficult situation for Joshua, as he said, or at least as you said, you were waiting to see what would happen with Dubois and Parker. There would be a title on the line in that fight. Obviously, there won't be one on the line with Bakole. So what does this mean for Joshua? Is he now waiting to see what Dubois does?
Yeah, honestly, we've not even discussed his next fight. So we were going to see what happens this weekend. We'll still see it. Could fight the winner of Bakole Parker. Now,
is that as attractive to him if there's no title on the line? Since he's saying that
the focus is always to fight for the World Heavyweight Championship. So, you know, if Bakole was to win, then maybe we do Joshua Dubois. Maybe we do Joshua Bakole. Maybe anything's possible, Raheem. But honestly, until, as you've seen in the last 20 minutes, anything is possible.
You and Oscar seem to be cordial up there. There was a lot said about what happened and potentially you having some hand in it. Did you have a discussion with Oscar? Because when I talked to him, he was on his way to speak to Kid Austin, his team.
No, I didn't know anything about Kid Austin's postponement. You know, really, when I turned up on Tuesday, that was the first that I heard that he'd been taken ill and he was in hospital. It was the dad who said, you know, Eddie Hearn's lying, the truth will come out. I said, lying about what? I've just literally been told you're in hospital. And the board, obviously, when a fighter's in hospital a couple of days before the fight and has to be kept over the night, they're not going to let you fight. How could they? So when the board told me Austin was out, we got a replacement. That's it. Pretty simple.
You've been on record pulling for Parker against Dubois. Yeah. Are you still pulling for Parker against Bakole? I always
pull for Parker unless he's in against one of our guys. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough fight. I think, to be honest, like, one of Bakole's weaknesses is his fitness and coming in at short notice. You know, but he's dangerous, and it's going to be a hell of a fight.
A lot of these guys up there may not say it to your face, but they all think that Joshua's afraid of Bakole. That maybe you want Parker to win because that's the easiest win for Joshua.
When you say up there, are you talking about?
No, I mean up these on these stands up here with all the big lights and big cameras. They like to be nice when they're talking to you.
Because a lot of people are very envious, and they lead sad lives where they can't give people the credit. Right, and most of them didn't quite get what they wanted out of their careers, so they want to talk people down and downplay people's impact in the sport. Anthony Joshua, you have only got to look at the CV. He's never ducked a challenge. I mean, the greatest example of that is when Alexander Usyk was his mandatory. Do you know how many people said to AJ, "You don't want to fight this guy"? And he was like, he's my mandatory. And he fought him. And when he got beat, they all went, whatever you do, don't rematch him. And he rematched him straight away. You think he's afraid of Martin Bakole? The guy got beat by Michael Hunter at York Hall. Potentially, listen, he could win on Saturday, but he could also get smashed. So let's reserve judgment till Saturday now, because we're going to see him in the flesh. And we'll see if he's the second coming of George Foreman.
And lastly, those same guys said the same thing when Joshua did not take the rematch with Dubois.
He's still getting work on his elbow.
Exactly.
I mean, what do you think these fucking clowns? Yeah. Oh, Joshua didn't take the fight on February 22nd. He's not in training. He's not fit to start camp. What planet do you live on? You don't think he'll fight Daniel Dubois again? Of course. All he wants to do is fight Daniel Dubois. All he wants to do is fight for the World Heavyweight Championship. What are we going to do? Have a 10-round warm-up?
So with that said, and Dubois sitting out potentially on Saturday night, then have you had a conversation with Frank already, or at least breached the subject?
It was 20 minutes ago, right?
He was sitting next to each other. You guys are
Daniel Dubois,
tens of millions of dollars in the
Daniel
balance.
Dubois was pulled out of the Josie Parker
That's
fight.
right.
They're trying to find a replacement, and you're asking me, did I manage to talk to Frank Warren about a possibility
You got
of Dubois
Padley
AJ?
up there. You got Padley up there in 20 minutes.
Honestly.
I mean, that's because I have so much faith in you,
No,
Eddie.
listen, we're good.
You know what I
We're
mean?
good.
When
Listen.
boxing is illing,
Listen,
Eddie comes
I
as
know,
the doctor.
listen. One thing for sure, we're not illing. AJ is not illing. We're sweet, and we'll be back. And let's just enjoy Saturday night.
We'll do that. Radio Raheem with Eddie
Hearn.
Hearn.